What would you do if you had to risk your entire future for something only you could see? Would you walk away from the security of a Harvard education? Would you gamble your youth on an idea no one understood? Would you believe in your vision so fiercely that failure didn't scare you? Because that's exactly what Bill Gates did. Before he became one of the richest men in history. Before Microsoft became the heartbeat of the digital revolution. Before the billions in donations, the foundation, the vaccines, the global influence. He was just a teenager, obsessed with code, fueled by passion, and completely uninterested in playing by the rules. This is not just a story about software. This is a story about seeing possibility where others see problems. It's about betting on your brain when no one else sees the genius inside you. It's about the wild, relentless, radical belief that one person can reshape the entire world. If you've ever been told to be realistic, if you've ever felt like your dreams are too big, too nerdy, too weird, then stay with me. Because Bill Gates' life isn't just history, it's a handbook for dreamers, for builders, for quiet revolutionaries like you. Bill Gates was born in 1955 in Seattle, Washington, into a family that valued education, intellect, and ambition. Even as a child, Gates wasn't like the others. At age 11, he was reading encyclopedias for fun. At 13, he discovered computers, and that was the moment the fuse was lit. The school he attended, Lakeside School, had a computer terminal. In the late 1960s, this was incredibly rare. Most people had never even seen a computer. But Bill Gates? He devoured it. While other kids were playing sports, Gates was hacking time on the school's computer. He studied code like it was poetry. He got caught breaking into systems, not to destroy them, but to understand them. He wasn't a rebel without a cause. He was a revolutionary with one. He formed a friendship with another bright mind, Paul Allen. And together, they began dreaming of a future where computers weren't just for scientists, but for everyone. This is where the first lesson lives. Your obsession is your direction. Bill Gates didn't stumble into success. He sprinted toward it, led by a burning curiosity. People laughed. People doubted. But he kept going. Not because he was told to, but because he couldn't stop. If there's something in your life that grabs you like that, don't run from it. Follow it. That's not distraction. That's destiny. Bill Gates entered Harvard at 17. For most, this would be the dream realized. But for Gates, something didn't feel right. He wasn't built to study theories. He was built to build reality. And in 1975, everything changed. Paul Allen showed Gates a copy of Popular Electronics. On the cover, a new microcomputer called the Altair 8800. It wasn't just a machine. It was the spark. Bill knew instantly this was it. Computers were coming to the public, and someone needed to write software for them. He dropped everything, contacted the makers of the Altair, claimed he had a working interpreter for the machine, even though he didn't. Yet, they coded nonstop for weeks. No sleep, no distractions. They made it work. The company was impressed. Gates and Allen had delivered. And just like that, Microsoft was born. Now let this sink in. A 19-year-old college dropout, building software for a machine the world didn't even know it needed. That's lesson number 2. Leap before the world claps for you. Everyone waits for permission. Bill Gates created his own green light. Success favors the bold. Not the prepared, not the perfect, but the willing. Microsoft started small, just a handful of guys writing code. But Gates had something most young entrepreneurs lack. Vision. He didn't want to be a player in the game. He wanted to define the game. He didn't just want to write software. He wanted every computer in the world to run it. In 1980, Gates struck a deal with IBM. IBM needed an operating system for their new personal computer. Gates delivered MS-DOS. But here's the genius. He licensed it. He didn't sell it outright. He kept ownership, meaning every time IBM sold a PC, Microsoft got paid. This wasn't just clever. It was revolutionary. The next decade? Explosive growth. Windows, Office, Excel, PowerPoint. Microsoft became a titan. And Bill Gates? He became the youngest billionaire in history. But the climb wasn't easy. He worked 16-hour days, slept under his desk, reviewed every line of code. People called him intense, obsessive, even ruthless. But here's what they missed. He cared deeply, desperately, about quality, about innovation, about winning. Lesson 3. Build your name before you build your net worth. Bill didn't chase money. He chased mastery. The billions came as a result of obsession, not the gold. By the 2000s, Gates had won the tech war. Microsoft was dominant, but inside him something shifted. He looked beyond the screen and saw suffering. Children dying of malaria, communities with no clean water, diseases that had cures but no access. He realized, what good is all this power if you don't use it for people who have none? In 2000, with his wife Melinda, he launched the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They began giving away billions. Quietly, relentlessly, strategically. They didn't just donate, they innovated global health. They helped cut child mortality in half, fought polio, malaria, tuberculosis, pledged to give away most of their fortune. Bill Gates, the ruthless coder, became Bill Gates, the compassionate world builder. And that's your next lesson. The true measure of success is not how much you keep, but how much you give. You don't need billions to make a difference. You just need the intention to make one. Bill Gates used his platform to uplift the planet. You can do the same with whatever you have, wherever you are. What made Bill Gates? Bill Gates? It wasn't luck. It wasn't just IQ. It was how he thought. He had the mind of a scientist and the grit of an entrepreneur. He believed in data, in strategy, in learning every single day. Even today, Bill reads 50 books a year. He takes think weeks to disconnect and reflect. He seeks out opposing views. He craves correction. His success didn't come from confidence. It came from curiosity. Lesson 5. Never stop learning. Because the minute you stop learning, you stop leading. So what does all this mean for you? You may not start the next Microsoft. You may not become a billionaire. But that's not the point. The point is, you could be underestimated and still win. You can take bold risks and create a future worth living. You can chase mastery, not money, and still change the world. You can pivot, grow, give, lead, serve. You have time. You have talent. You have a story that isn't finished yet. Bill Gates' life is not just a monument to genius. It's a message to every underdog that you don't have to be born ready. You just have to be brave enough to begin. Now, if this story moved you, don't just watch it. Act on it. Hit that subscribe button, because every week we bring you stories like this, stories that ignite your fire and keep you pushing. Turn on the notification bell so when the next spark drops, you don't miss it. And share this video with someone who's struggling, someone who doubts themselves, someone who needs to know that brilliance doesn't come with approval. It comes with belief. Here's the truth. You will forget this message unless you act on it. So decide, are you going to be a spectator of greatness? Or are you going to step into it? Because if Bill Gates taught us anything, it's this. Don't wait for the world to tell you it's your time. Make it your time. Start learning. Start building. Start giving. And above all, think boldly. This is not the end of a video. This is the beginning of your next chapter.